So recently I've been thinking a lot about video ideas, things I could do. I bought this Game Boy Advanced SP. I was thinking back on what games I could play, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to take a look back at my 17-year-old Pokemon Ruby account. I made this when I was 5 years old, and I'm going to take it a step further beyond looking at it. I'm also going to attempt to beat the Elite Four with it. I know for a fact my Pokemon team on this is horrible, so I'm going to hook it up to the GameCube because no one wants to watch me try to play this on a Game Boy Advanced. We'll look through some of my Pokemon. I know I have some cringy Pokemon names in there. Sure, my teams are horrible, so let's see what we find when we explore my 17-year-old Pokemon Ruby account.
Opening up an old save file is like opening up a time capsule. Not only is it strange to play a game that I've not played in years, but I'm also looking at a game file for an account I started when I was 5 years old. Opening it up to the main menu shows my name was and I'm just shy of 258 hours, which is a long time. I sank nearly 10 days and 18 hours into this account. Let's see what I have to show for it. My party consists of a level 100 Sceptile, a level 100 Linoon, a level 16 Skarmory, a level 36 Swampert, a level 37 Graveler, and a level 3 Zigzagoon. Looking back on this map, it's pretty much ingrained into my mind at this point. I've beaten this generation about 6 times if you count the remake, so even disregarding this save file, I'm all but familiar with this region. I went ahead and just picked a random town and ended up in Four Tree City to check out my PC. I'm not entirely sure what I have in here, but I know for a fact I hoarded whatever Pokemon I felt like catching, so I expect to find several Zigzagoons and other easy to catch Pokemon. As I start flipping through the boxes, it is as I suspected. A lot of duplicates and just general randomness with seemingly no rhyme or reason. I run across a box called Retire. I don't know what I was going for there, which I assume is a bunch of random Pokemon that I decided had their battling days behind them. If I want a chance to beat the Elite Four, I'll need to dump most of my team off, though I will keep Sceptile and Linoon as I know they're my strongest Pokemon on this save file. Along the way I encountered several Pokemon with unique names, such as several times, 1 Billion, the Psyduck, the Zigzagoon, Al and Dylan, the Talos, Deathman, the Duskull, Hell, the Dodo, I'm not even going to try to read that, the Zigzagoon, period, comma, the Windsmear, and many more. Soon it became clear I sucked at naming Pokemon. The only thing I was worse at was training Pokemon. Selecting my team to fight the Elite Four would not be an easy task. Most of my Pokemon, as you may have noticed by now, fall below level 40, so picking Pokemon with potential was hard. I settled on a level 40 Gyarados that I was quickly able to upgrade for a level 48 Gyarados. Next I found a level 73 Aggron, which won't do half bad as Steel is a pretty decent typing against a lot of the Elite Four, which will have type advantage over Rock, Dragon, and Ice. Next I pick my level 40 Medicham. Might not do much, but I can probably tank a hit so I can use a revive. Finally a level 40 Hariyama. Frankly, Sceptile is horrible because of his moves, and Linoon isn't great either, so on my way to the Elite Four I'll need to grab some items. I already have some status healers that will be helpful, but I will certainly need more with a team like this. However, my money is low, so it looks like if I want to win I'll need to sell a lot of stuff. I end up selling off most of my items, and I end up with 5 full heals, 5 revives, 6 max potions, and a full restore. This will have to do as I enter to challenge the Elite Four. As I enter my first match, I'm nervous. Will I be able to beat the Elite Four with what amounts to a hodgepodge of garbage tier Pokemon? Before I have time to think further about my impending fate, I'm here, looking at my first opponent, Sydney. I figure Sceptile is my best bet, being that he outlevels them and I can try to brute force him. He starts with a Mightyena. I try to focus punch him, but give up on that idea after his takedown makes Sceptile lose focus, so I hit him with the strength, which knocks him out. He plays Absol next. Again I hit him with a strength, knocking down most of his health. Then I hit him with a Rock Smash, finishing his Absol. Cacturne goes down after I use 2 Rock Smashes on him. Sharpedo goes down the same way. I change it up a bit for Shiftry by hitting him with a Rock Smash and then a Strength, and just like that it's done. I brute forced my way through the first battle. 1 down, 4 to go. Next was Phoebe. She primarily uses ghost type, so I decided to main Aggron for this one. My first opponent is Dusclops. Aggron gets cursed right out the gate, which sucks, but we could run with it. After I used Surf on Dusclops, it was clear Aggron wasn't the play, so I give Linoon a shot. After hitting Dusclops with an Ice Beam, he cursed Linoon, which knocked him out. Next out was Banette. After an Ice Beam, Banette burned my Linoon with a Will-O-Wisp. Linoon was now inflicted by 2 status damages per turn. An Ice Beam took out Banette, but clearly Linoon needed to be switched. I threw out Medicham and tried to use Calm Mind, but was one hit KO'd. Knowing I'd be pretty much out of luck with Ah too, I threw him out to try to heal Linoon a bit and tank the rest of the battle. I managed to give him a max potion and a full heal before Ah met his fate. Now I had a mostly healthy Linoon, so I hit him with an Ice Beam and a Surf to finally take out his Sableye. Bennett comes out next, and I one-shot him with an Ice Beam. For Dusclops, I used Surf and Ice Beam, taking him out. I was certainly relieved to beat Phoebe, but she put me through the ringer, mostly from my own failures as a man. Next was Glacia. She's primarily Ice-type trainer, so I knew I could breeze through her with Aggron. Galele went down with 1 Metal Claw, Celio managed to get Hail out but otherwise was a breeze, just taking 2 Metal Claws. Next Celio was the same thing with 2 Metal Claws. Malrin was a little more challenging, I landed 2 Metal Claws on him but he managed to take out Aggron. So I threw out Gyarados. Glacia used a full restore which put me back to square one. Meanwhile I was able to fully revive Aggron. Gyarados was knocked out but I was able to throw out Aggron again in response, now with full health. 2 Metal Claws was enough to take her out this time. Finally was Galele, which I knew would be a breeze. I one-shot him with a Metal Claw, and Glacia was defeated. My final obstacle before the champion was Drake. Drake mainly uses dragons, which again I knew I could counter pretty well with Aggron. He started with a Shelgon, which I knew would be defensive, but easy pickings when I could land hits. I hit him with 2 Metal Claws and that was it for Shelgon. Next was Flygon. I was able to get him to red right away, but he used full restore. I hit him with a Metal Claw again, figuring he would spam another full restore, and I tried to hit him with a cut. He ended up using Dragon Breath, paralyzing Aggron. It wasn't a big deal as I had several full heals still. Flygon used Dig, which did some decent damage, but I was finally able to beat him with a Metal Claw. Next he played another Flygon. I managed to one-shot him with a Metal Claw after taking a bit of damage from his Flamethrower. After that, we had Salamence. Right off the bat, I used my Max Potion. This opened me up to be hit with 2 Flamethrowers. Aggron managed to take him out with 2 Metal Claws, but it was at a high cost because once again, Aggron was low on health. His final Pokemon was Altaria, and I countered with Sceptile, knowing Aggron wouldn't do much damage against him before getting knocked out. Sceptile used Strength, which actually got him down to red. He used a full restore, and I foolishly used Rock Smash in response, which didn't do much. I was able to finally finish him with a Strength though. Just like that, Drake was defeated. Now was finally the time to fight the champion. Steven is a bit of a mixed bag when compared to the other members of the Elite Four. He started with Skarmory and I started with Linoon. 2 Surfs took out Skarmory pretty easily. Next he picked Armadillo and I picked Sceptile. I figured since he was a rock bug type I'd use Rock Smash, but it proved pretty weak. 2 more strengths did the trick, but I took a fair amount of damage. Next was Cradily, and I shifted to Aggron. Metal Claw got him down to the red, but Aggron got confused. My next Metal Claw got him to red again, but he used full restore. Next I hit him with a Surf to weaken him a bit without actually causing him to use a full restore. I tried to finish him with a Metal Claw, but Aggron hurt himself in his confusion. This is when I got amazingly unlucky. He got a critical Mega Drain on me next. Aggron hit himself once again. One more Mega Drain had Cradily essentially at full health while Aggron was under half. Then Aggron snapped out of his confusion and managed to miss his Metal Claw. At this point I was basically livid. The worst Pokemon on his team was about to take out my Aggron. I used a full restore and this battle was basically back to square one. Aggron hit him with a Metal Claw and then was confused again. This time I wasn't going to deal with it, so I switched to Sceptile. 1 more strength and I finally beat his Cradily. For Claydol, I went back to Aggron. A Metal Claw did a decent amount of damage, so I continued with this strategy. However, after 3 Metal Claws, Claydol was still hanging on, and took Aggron out with an Earthquake. I switched to Linoon and revived Aggron, while Steven used a full restore on Claydol. However, it wouldn't do him much good, as Linoon hit him with 2 Surfs, taking out Claydol. He brought out his Aggron next, and I didn't even bother changing Pokemon. 1 Surf managed to finish him, so it was on to the final Pokemon, Metagross. I responded with Aggron. I used Metal Claw, which didn't do much, and he took out my Aggron. I threw out Linoon and revived Aggron. I hit him with a Headbutt, hoping when I combined with the Surf it would take him out, but fell just short. Linoon was knocked out. Sceptile was next. I hit him with a Strength, hoping to finish the job once again, but not quite. He ended up using a full restore, and I hit him with a Rock Smash. Then I revived Linoon, realizing he was my best chance to actually win this battle. Sceptile managed 1 more Strength, but was swiftly defeated after that. And I hit him with 2 more Surfs, and it was over. And just like that, I beat the Elite Four with my horrible, undertrained, mismanaged team I made when I was 5 years old. This was probably the most I've had to strategize to beat a Pokemon game in years. In conclusion, while this file is horrible and something I really wouldn't play for fun, I did have a good time going back and looking at the weird stuff littered through a Pokemon game I started almost 2 decades ago. It is also kind of fun to look back at my first ever Pokemon Sceptile and laugh on how I basically made him an HM slave out of sheer incompetence. All in all, it was fun, and if you're as lucky as I am to have a decades-old game file, I suggest you go back and check it out. It's pretty interesting to see what you might find.